I'm Tori Whalen. The Pittsburg State Student Government Association is discussing setting a cap on student fee increases for the upcoming 2020 fall semester. If SGA's new idea for the cap of student fees comes to fruition, students will only be paying a maximum of $10 more. The president of the Student Government Association, Seth George, says they're still in the middle of discussing this topic. George says the student fee process is something the group discusses every year. This year, they're pushing for a $10 cap because of an expected increase in tuition costs. A 1.2 to 1.5% increase is expected, so they're hoping the cap on student fees could help even things out. Nearly 90 Pittsburg State nursing majors were accepted into the nursing program last week. To be eligible, the students had to meet a list of requirements. First, they needed to maintain a GPA of 3.4. Secondly, they had to have completed a list of prerequisites. Finally, their applications had to be reviewed by the council that oversees the program.
I'm pretty excited that I'm now in the nursing program. I've wanted to be a nurse my entire life, so I think it's really cool. Hopefully, after I get on the nursing program, I'll end up moving on a little bit further. But maybe a nurse practitioner. They have a pretty good nurse NP program.
After working hard and feeling the relief of being accepted into the program, the students know they need to continue to work at a high level. With the addition of the new simulation hospital that is set to be built in a few years, that should make work a bit easier on students. The Barn at Timber Cove is hosting a spring fling dedicated to promoting local and independent businesses in Pittsburgh. The spring fling meets food vendors, florists, bakers, boutiques, local artisans, and other local businesses to join. The Spring Fling already has 74 people planning to attend the event at the Barn at Timber Cove, located at 832 South 250th Street in Pittsburgh. The event will be on March 21st from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and is free and open to the public. If you are a local business and interested in becoming a vendor, email thebarn@timbercove@gmail.com. Coming up is on Caps 13 News. A new class in Communication Department looks to show students the ins and outs of podcasting. Details after this.
Hey Guerrilla Nation, this is Stu Height, Chief of Police here at Pittsburg State. Hope you're off to a great semester, and we want to just give you a couple of reminders of how to take care of your valuables. Please don't ever leave them unattended for any length of time at all. We live on a very safe campus and a very safe community, but you can never be too safe. So if you ever need anything, if you have any questions, any concerns about anything ranging from parking or just safety and security, please feel free to call us anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Go Guerrillas!
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Now it's time for the COLLEGIO Corner, where we get a preview of the top 3 stories in this week's edition.
Hi, my name is Emily Rubel. I'm the managing editor of the COLLEGIO. And I'm going to tell you about a few stories that we have. In this week's edition of the COLLEGIO, we have coverage of the Apple Day and the International Food and Culture Fair, which both took place during the last week. We also covered Imagine Pittsburgh 2030, where community leaders, educators, and local businesses came together and spoke about their visions for the future of Pittsburgh. So those are a few of the things we're covering this week in the COLLEGIO. Be sure to grab a copy of the COLLEGIO or visit our website at psucollegio.com.
Spring Career Day is coming up, and Career Services is a great place to go when you need career advice. Career Services, held in the Horseman Building, assists students with resume and cover letter building and job searching. Students can also schedule a mock interview for practice. The Career Services website has more information about how to build a resume. The website also has Gorillas for Hire for students and employers. Spring Career Day will be Thursday, March 12th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Robert W. Plaster Center. If you want to look more at the Career Services website, you can go to careers.pittstate.edu, and their office hours are from 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. A new class is offered this spring semester, Exploration in Podcasting, where students produce their own podcast. The podcasting class is offered through the Communication Department. After an introduction to audio equipment, students will perform all the steps necessary to produce a broadcast-worthy podcast over the course of the semester. Students learn the principles, procedures, and techniques of creating a podcast and how it functions within mass media. They are able to create a podcast genre of their choosing, create a marketing plan, and pitch it to the class.
Students will learn how to run audition, to work with a lot of the programs that we're using in a more practical way. I'm hoping that the students will learn how to perform, how to improve their performance value, especially their voice acting.
After the break, we'll have details on Pitt State athletics and sports. With the last regular season game at John Lance Arena, the Lady Gorillas played the University of Central Missouri Jennies. Pitt State honors its three seniors, Athena Alvarado, Megan Maher, and Marina Bowser Rupert. PSU also welcomed back to the court one of their key players, Tristan Gegg. The team started off with a close game, trailing the first quarter 13-10. UCM continued to lead PSU into halftime 33-26. Maya Williams led the Gorillas into the half with 12 points and 9 rebounds. Williams finished the game with team lead of 19 points, followed by Kaylee DeMitz with 13 points. Pittsburg State wrapped up the regular season with a 72-60 loss against the Jennies.
It's senior day, so we had a huge crowd, so I thought that was really good to show, having them show support for us. Having Tristan back is nice after having a couple of games off.
I think we've had a really adverse year dealing with injuries. You never know who somebody's always hurt. So for us to all come together with, we're a little banged up still, but for us to all come together and be able to compete together for our last game for our seniors, I think it was pretty special.
The Gorilla women will kick off the MIAA tournament playing Fort Hays State on Friday, March 6th at noon in Kansas City. Over on the men's side, the Gorillas went out with a bang for their last regular season home game, taking on the University of Central Missouri Mules. The four seniors, A.J. Walker, Jacoby Womack, Marcel Cherry, and Christian Edmondson, were honored before beginning the game for senior day. The Gorillas started off strong with a slam dunk from Womack. Halfway through the first half, the men trailed UCM by 1 point. Heading into halftime, Pitt State took the lead by 1. Cherry led Pitt State in double figures with 17 points, followed by Walker, who had 16 points. PSU achieves an 80-73 victory over Central Missouri and qualifies for the number 10 seed in the postseason MIAA tournament. The Gorillas played and won their first game of the tournament against Nebraska Kearney in overtime, 79-76. The baseball team hosted Fort Hays State University over the weekend to start off league play in the MIAA. The team scored one or more runs in each of the first 5 innings, and the Gorillas got timely outs defensively to defeat Fort Hays State University 9-3 Sunday at Ortolani Field. The victory allowed the Gorillas to take 2 or 3 games in the MIAA series from the Tigers. Hays out-hit Pitt State 15-14, but the Tigers stranded 18 base runners in the contest. Tyler Pittman and Reese Garvey each belted home runs for the Gorillas. The Gorillas will return home on March 20th against Northwest Missouri at 4 p.m. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for coming to help me study for this test. It's going to be a real tough one here, I can guarantee it. So,
guys, I'm kind of hungry, and it is Tuesday. Couldn't we get some tacos?
Tacos? I hate Mexican food. Why don't we try something a little less bold? Like subs.
Subs? That's literally the worst idea you've ever thought of. Have you ever thought about pizza maybe? How about something better than that?
Pizza is gonna take like half an hour. Are you kidding me? Obviously, we all know that barbecue is the move.
Guys, hey, guys, let's check out Gorilla Crossing. I mean, Gorilla Crossing has hand-wrapped burritos and hot and ready pizzas and pastas, custom-crafted subs, and savory Kansas City barbecue. Wait, where'd everybody go?
Head on over to Gorilla Crossing for a variety of food options at student-friendly prices. And download the Gorilla Dining app for daily specials.
The Invisible Man was written and directed by Leigh Whannell and stars Elizabeth Moss as Cecilia, and after escaping from her abusive ex-boyfriend, he decides to take his own life and leave her his fortune, but she soon suspects that his death was a hoax. As a series of coincidences turn lethal, Cecilia works to prove that she is being haunted by someone nobody can see. Welcome to Caps 13 Reviews. I'm your host, Nate Vanderpool, and I'm going to make this review short and sweet because this is one of the best films of 2020 so far. With this being his second major motion picture, I've got a feeling that director Leigh Whannell is going to do great things with his career. After his 2018 sci-fi thriller Upgrade, which is one of the best movies from that year, I was very surprised with his talents behind the camera and how he can create an atmosphere for a movie. And after seeing The Invisible Man, I can proudly say this guy is a very talented filmmaker and knows how to make a very entertaining movie. This is one of the best horror thrillers I've seen in quite some time, and it doesn't hold back on being tense. And right from the opening scene, my eyes were glued to the screen and I was locked in. The concept of someone being invisible and you not knowing that they're there, if you really think about it, it's pretty terrifying, and this movie leans into that in the best possible way. One thing I found myself doing throughout this movie was trying to find where the Invisible Man was hiding, because Whannell will use these really clever shots where he'll linger on a couch or a piece of furniture and hold on that shot, leaving a sign that something or someone is there, but you just can't see it. But you can't talk about this film's quality and not mention Elizabeth Moss. She is outstanding in this movie and might even be overqualified for a film like this, but she definitely brings her A game and is a huge reason why this movie works. Throughout this film, she has to portray a character with a massive amount of trauma, and as she is tormented by this being, she tries to go to her friends and her family for help as, tells everybody that, hey, I think someone invisible is stalking me, and everyone just starts to gaslight her and starts to isolate her, which leads to a really raw performance from Moss as she plays this character who you think, it looks like she's losing her mind. Now, I did have a few nitpicks with this film, but I don't want to spoil any specifics, so I'd have to say that my only gripe was that for the last 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, I found it to be a bit jarring and a little bit out of left field. It didn't ruin the movie for me, but I just felt like there were a couple plot holes and problems with the script here and there that could have been fixed or tweaked just a bit. But even though the last 20 minutes or so didn't work for me entirely, this is still one of the best thrillers I've seen in a long time, honestly. And I've got a feeling this movie will continue to be talked about throughout 2020. So take my word for it and see it in theaters, because movies like this, movies with this amount of quality, they deserve to be recognized, and I think you'll have a really good time with this movie. But that takes up our time here at Caps 13 Reviews. Next week I will be reviewing the upcoming sports movie The Way Back starring Ben Affleck. Till then, I'm Nate Vanderpool and this has been Caps 13 Reviews.
That does it for this week's edition of Caps 13 News. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.